Yeah. Hi everybody, welcome to this session. Again, just give me a confirmation if you can hear me. Apologies again for the delay, some software issue, and I was saying right now, I think before we went to live, you are all going to become good software developers. So I hope you all help me fix these kind of issues. It's just unfortunate. Sometimes our software doesn't really work as well as you'd expect it to. But yeah, here we are, all good, all over here. How's everybody doing? It's been a long time. How's everyone doing? So I see a lot of people wanting us to start the session on the chat. Do let us know. How's the new year been? How have you been? I think it's been a month since we did a live session. Hi Abhilash. Yeah, you're waiting to watch. Sorry for the delay, but we are here right now. Raj Kumar, we can hear you and see you, bro. Hey Raj Kumar, one of our biggest fans. Thanks a lot for coming in today. Chandu, hello. Hi Chandu, how are you? Rubia Bhanu, hello. Hello. Hi Rubia. Hi Vishnu. And hi Indrajit. Hello all. Welcome to everybody over here. First thing I'd want everybody to do is realize that we are just about at 25,000 subscribers. Everybody, could you please hit that subscribe button and help us to reach 25,000 subscribers? Tell your friends also to help us reach 25,000 subscribers, if possible 30,000 subscribers. That would be good as well, but do share with all your friends as much as possible. That would be great. Right, so you could help us reach there. Anyways, today's session, everybody, is about the practice series, the WIPRO practice series that we are doing. That's what we're going to talk about today. And before I start with that, just give me 1 second. Before I start with that, what other companies are you guys planning to do? So if you're planning for some other companies as well, we are more than happy to cover those sessions on Edyst. We are always looking out for more content to do. If you are going for some other companies, do let us know which other companies that you are going for, and we'll happily make videos on those as well. More than happy to do that. We always love making more and more videos for you. So yeah, let us know in the comments below or in the chat also which companies you are all planning to prepare for, right? Great. So what about others? Already subscribed, very nice. I've been placed in TCS with your classes. Thanks so much, Rajkumar, for that. Sai Pranav, Amazon, done. Sai Pranav, hit subscribe. Get 5 other people to hit subscribe today as well. And this week, I am not even kidding you, like upcoming week, 18th January, we will do a video on Amazon. Either it will be a YouTube premiere or I'll do it live, whatever. But Sai Pranav, your request is our, I don't know, command or whatever. Anyways, somebody saying Infosys. Yeah, Infosys, that's a good point. So Infosys on campus is coming pretty soon. I think for some colleges, Infosys on campus is coming, and I think a lot more people have started watching, by the way. So please hit the like button so that other people can come to know. It's a marathon session. It's a revision session for YouTube for what do you call a WIPRO. So let's do that. Start the class ASAP. I will, Devendra. I was just it's been some time since we did the classes, so I was just happy to be back in front of my students. So I'm just saying hi to all of you. I hope you like that. Sorry if you are waiting to start the class. I'll just start in another 5 minutes, but I'm just very happy to see all the students again and just wanted to say hi to everybody. So hey everybody, happy new year. I know it's been late, so happy new year, happy Pongal, happy Sankranti, whatever you guys celebrate. Sai Pranav says Fang. Absolutely, we'll do Fang. We already did a Fang series, by the way. You can check out the daily challenges on Fang, but we'll do many more Fang series, and we'll go ahead and do those. What else is going on, guys? What else? All right, so today's session is about WIPRO, and the truth to be told, WIPRO is probably the last big MNC that is going to hire you. So like not hire, I mean, I'm sure that all of you will eventually get placed into the best of MNCs. What I mean by this is that WIPRO is probably the last opportunity that you have to actually be able to get into through a national qualifier. So I'm not saying that you can never get into a company. You can definitely all get into a company, but you can absolutely so what I'm trying to say here is that this opportunity that you have with WIPRO is your last, especially for 2021 graduate, it's the last opportunity for an MNC, and you can definitely make the full use of it. Unfortunately, I see a lot of students still taking their time, still thinking we'll get another opportunity. But trust me guys, after all that has gone up next year, 2021 and 2022 batches are the most affected. You're very, very lucky that 2021 has another opportunity, and there's another opportunity coming in terms of WIPRO. WIPRO is also coming up pretty soon. Sorry, Infosys is also coming soon. Apart from WIPRO, Infosys is also coming up very soon. So these are two opportunities that you have. So let's focus the most on this. So now the latest pattern for 2021, again, if you go to the actual careers website of WIPRO, they have not really given us too much more information about WIPRO as yet. So this is the tentative approach that we have. We have to wait till somebody, the first person to actually go. So I think 18th is the first person. 18th is the first slot. So we'll wait for the first slot to finish up. And once those slots are declared, then we can, or at least once the first slot is done, we'll be able to give more feedback on what is the actual, separation of verbal, reasoning, numerical. But I don't think this is more than what is going to be there, but I think if you prepare for this, you'll be very good to go. Essay writing and coding questions, yes, this we have sort of confirmed that you'll have 2 coding questions and 1 essay writing question. Before I go ahead to telling you about how to solve these and how to solve each of these questions, one thing I will say is about essay writing. I got a lot of questions about essay writing, so I'd like to give a shout out to another person who does videos like these. His name is Be a Programmer. You can go ahead and check his YouTube channel. He's done a really good video on essay writing and how he in fact attempted essay writing last time around. So you can go ahead and check his videos out, and in his video we have a special coupon code that you can use to buy our course. So yeah, use that code and help yourself with the WIPRO Elite course. You will get it at a better discount than you get with us. So we've given him a better discount over there. Do check that out. I give a shout out to Be a Programmer, and probably the link might be shared here. I don't know, right? Anyways, so that's one. Second thing is, but long story short about essay writing, the thing about essay writing is it's not going to be checked. So one second, let me just tell you a little bit. So about essay writing, if I want to talk about essay writing, then one second. Essay writing, let me tell you a little bit about essay writing. Essay writing is going to be checked by the machine. So essay writing, it's going to be checked by the machine, and what I've generally found most people to do is most engineering students are not that good at English, unfortunately. For some reason you guys don't pay so much attention to English. So one thing you should remember is that it is going to be checked algorithmically. When I say algorithmically, it means that by a system, mostly an AI system, is going to check this, which means that you should practice accordingly. Try one of these tools. That is Grammarly is a good tool. Or simply MS Office has a good auto check and auto correct and all of that. What you should try to do is keep sentences short. Why I'm saying sentences short is you then don't need to worry about is my sentence grammatically correct or not. Like, they are not going to really award you too many points if you write really amazing Shakespearean language or something like that. If you're writing some beautiful poems, they are going to reward you that your language is not incorrect. They don't want to hire somebody who writes incorrect emails, incorrect documents. They're not expecting you to write amazing literature, but what they're expecting you to do is not at least do incorrect things. So keep sentences short and to the point, and practice on generic topics. What do I mean by generic topics? Well, simple topics like let's say why I love engineering. Do all of you love engineering, first of all? So but yeah, why I love engineering. What else? My role model, importance of creative thinking. These kind of very generic topics, which very apolitical, less controversial, very simple, to the point. Try to write 500 words, 1000 words. I don't know the exact limit on the essay, so you can check out the other video on that, but 500 words, 1000 words, try writing on this, and try to keep your sentences as short as possible, because when it's going to be checked by the system, it's going to be very easy for you to score in that one, right? So that's another thing. And yeah, a lot of people have now also tuned in, so please like this video, everyone, so that more people can find it. And if you've not yet subscribed, please do, because we are just this shy of reaching 25,000 subscribers. Please help us reach 25,000 subscribers. That will be much obliged. Thank you so much. So going back, so that is about essay writing. Those are some tips. Now, how to actually write brilliant essays is not something that you can learn overnight, especially 2 days before WIPRO Elite. Now, some people are asking, are slots declared? Slots are not declared as such. Sorry, what I mean is I don't know about them. I think one or two colleges told me that they got the slots, others didn't really say. So that I would really expect you guys to know. I'm not too sure about if the slots are declared. But as soon as the first slot is done, we'll try our best to do a video after that, just to see the experience of students after the first slot and to understand, how the first slot was. So we are going to try to do that, right? Somebody saying it's at most 300 words. Great. So that's great if you guys know that already. So try to do at most 300 words for essay writing. But yeah, that is my general advice to all of you. Please keep short sentences. Don't write too long sentences. Be to the point, etc. Okay, done. Let's go further. Now, in these verbal, reasoning, and numerical, again, the thing about WIPRO Elite is that we know that, or at least last year it was held on AMCAT. Our full assumption and hope is that again it's held on AMCAT. And if it's held on AMCAT, then the data bank for that, the question bank, the data set for that is generally from these topics. So in verbal, you have these antonyms, synonyms, reading, comprehensions, parajumbles. In logical, you have series and arrangement, blood relations, clocks, calendars, etc. So very similar to other placement companies, some topics more, some topics less. And quants, you have all of these things: permutations, combinations, speed, distance, probability, time and work, mixtures, averages. Nothing new, if you can understand. There's nothing. Probably mixtures is something many of you struggle with, but again, like, none of these topics is something you should not know. So if you just continue your prep there, then you should be able to solve these questions as it is. So this is what you can expect. Again, will some topics come more, will some topic not come at all? Yes, but this is just from the previous experiences of students having gone through AMCAT that we have come to know that this is the kind of topics they have. And we are hoping again that the questions that we get this time around, or rather the platform that is going to take the test this time around is also AMCAT, right? Awesome. So that is about the aptitude thing. Now, how to and yeah, so let's go further. Let's talk about coding then. So I talked about aptitude, then talk about essay writing. Let's talk about coding. In coding, these are roughly this I have discussed earlier, and in fact, coding questions we have extensively discussed. You can check just on YouTube, type Edyst WIPRO, or we'll mention in the description below. We have discussed multiple things in terms of coding questions. I think most of you are here to check up about coding questions and see how to solve some of the coding questions. So my experience of having seen through last WIPRO Elite and all of the previous times AMCAT questions, how they generally have come, is that you will have flexibility in all programming languages. The best part also is that their Python compiler and Java compiler is not bad at all. For those of you who've given TCS NQT, who've given TCS CodeVita, you will know that generally speaking, some of these companies have bad compilers. Well, this one doesn't have bad compiler. It actually has good compilers. So you can go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to pause here because I see a really cool message. Sir, I got placed in Gen C next in CTS. Just came here to say thank you. Thank you, Ayush. Ayush, I actually remember you. I think you are the same Ayush who used to be very active in our sessions. So Ayush, thank you so much. Glad that you liked it. That you liked it. And one small request, share with all your friends who are not yet placed and ask them to subscribe. We want to just touch 25,000 subscribers. That's an internal target. So thanks a lot for those kind words, man, Ayush, and wishing you all the best in Gen C. Do stay in touch. If you want to get better from Gen C and all, just keep following this channel. We'll love to help you out. Anyways, coming back, two things to note for WIPRO. If it's an AMCAT compiler, then C, C++, Java and Python will be there. You will not have any compilation issues. They're all good compilers. Number two, generally speaking, they like to ask questions on loops, patterns, arrays, string, stacks, queues, linked lists. These, like topic 5 and topic 6, is rarely asked. I've put that there because I don't want you to miss out. You should be prepared, but rarely asked. In fact, WIPRO Elite on campus, if you don't know, there was an on campus round as well. On campus for WIPRO Elite, is wasn't very difficult. We also covered some of the on-campus questions of WIPRO Elite, which you can also check up. It was called the WIPRO latest pattern revision, I believe, video. We'll also mention in the description below. That one did not have a super difficult question. In fact, most of the questions were easy and straightforward, and we've covered them earlier. Go ahead and check them out. So what I'm expecting is there will be two coding questions. One of them will surely be easy, the other one not too easy, but may not be as difficult as data structures and greedy algorithms also. So just watch out over there. I think that an easier question might come this time from the on campus. Now again, off campus is generally more difficult than on campus because they want to eliminate more people, but as far as I can tell, I think we should be lucky. If you're lucky, then it will not be too difficult, too like the questions will not be too difficult is what I'm saying, right? So all right, let's then look at what we are actually going to start doing today. So in today's session, I'm going to revise the different types of questions. I'll go through all the types of questions that we have covered earlier. I'll tell you which are the topics that you should take up in that, what you should go ahead and prepare. So that's one. I'll look at this number systems question. Most of the people keep getting confused between number systems. So very simply, how you convert decimal to binary, binary to decimal. I know many of you may have done this many times before, but hey, it's a revision session. I want you all to revise number systems, and this is one of the questions that has come earlier. So let's do that. And matrices, I'll do a very simple matrix question again, just to get you all used to how to do 2D arrays. That's it. We are not do a very advanced question because I don't want to scare you just one day before the session. And for more advanced stuff, you can anyways check out the Edyst platform. So before I start this, just a quick word that if any of you still want to have not yet prepared for WIPRO Elite, now is the best time to go and at least do the mock tests. You will, if you have never done programming before, it is very, very, very difficult for you to pick up programming in just a matter of 2 days. So I won't tell you to actually pick up programming, but what I will say is, if you want to figure out what your level is, go to edyst.com/course info/wipro and purchase the course. We have a discount running, and completely new year discount running, more than 1,000 rupees off, and you will get 5 mock tests which you can do, which you can test yourself on and see whether you're ready, whether you're not ready. We don't have the essay writing section in the test, but apart from that, all the sections are there, so you can check them out, and our mentors are online to help you out in case you have any doubts or questions, right? So I'm going to be opening up the questions on the Edyst platform itself. Let me just click this. So the moment I click that, this is the page that opens up. Let me just click that, one second. Yep, let me take this. I'm just going here. There's a page that opens up. You just have to click the live, so try one free module, and you can just log in. Now, the moment you log in, by the way, 1 second, let me just go in. Yeah, 1 second, sorry for that. All right, so I'm just opening up the page. Yep, here we go. And all right. Oops, that is not the one. Okay, this is one of the questions we want to do, but let's just pick this. Yeah. So yeah, new year. I haven't streamed in some time, so sorry for that one. Anyways, okay, let's go down. This is the thing, try one free module if you want to get into the course. So that's try one free module. You click this. The moment you click this, it will the entire page will open up. Again, I have already paid for the course, so I can see everything unlocked, but if you have not yet paid, everything will be locked. I'm picking up one. I'm going to go through all of the previous year's coding question, and let's see how many of them what are the topics that they fall under. So we'll quickly go through that. So number one is loops and patterns, right? So loops and patterns, they love to ask these kind of questions on loops and patterns, and trust me, these loops and patterns won't be your simple print a star, print this or that. It's going to be a little more difficult. Let me show you. For example, inverted hollow full pyramid, right? So there's a question called inverted hollow full pyramid, where what you're supposed to do is print this inverted. Okay, like if the input given is 6, you're supposed to print an inverted triangle, right? And the top one has 6 stars, the bottom one has 1 stars, but all the other ones have two stars, but at some space. So they have 2 stars at particular space, right? Yeah, so it has these things, right? So how would you solve this kind of a question? 1 second, let me just move a little bit as well, so that yep, so I think now you can see the question more clearly. All right. So how would you solve this kind of question? Now for any loops and patterns question, we'll start with this one, right? I may have covered this earlier, but a lot of new users here. So let me start with this one and just show you how you can quickly answer any loops and patterns type of question. So when you're doing loops and patterns, one thing to always remember, so we'll do a quick revision of loops and patterns, right? Loops and patterns. So one thing to quickly remember in loops and patterns is that you should always, first of all, take the particular input, try to add more inputs and see what is the value that will come, and then try to solve the question. So let me show you. Let's say I come back to the slides. Yeah, so this is the loops and pattern questions, and actually this one is inverted hollow pyramid, right? So this is the question, inverted hollow pyramid. Let's try to solve this question, everyone. So I'm pasting this pyramid here, which is now gone a little bit weird, but so let me just bring it quickly to the correct font. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, so this is for input 6, right? So for an input 6, this is what we are getting as the output, right? This is for input 6. Now, first things first is to always make sure, especially with these space related ones, right? So for those of you who joined in, we are looking at coding questions from WIPRO Elite, and this one of the questions is a loops and patterns question. So that's one of the first kind of questions that we are looking at how to solve and doing a quick revision on how to solve these kind of questions, right? So anyways, coming back, in this question, what happens is, what we're trying to do is, if the input is 6, then the major base, the start one, it has 6 stars, the ending one has 1 star, and between we have 2 stars, but there are certain spaces in between them. Well, the way to solve any such question is take the space and replace it with a hyphen, right? So you're able to give a better idea of how much space is between them, because just by looking at it, I'm not able to say. But when I replace it, right, with a hyphen, then I'm able to very quickly say, oh, okay, these many spaces are there, right? So try to put a dash over there. That will make it much easier for you to solve the question. So there'll be 2 over here, and automatically as I'm putting, I can completely understand that, oh well, the number of dashes here is following a particular pattern, right? So there's a pattern over here, there's a pattern here, the pattern here, right? And there will be spaces after, but I don't think we really need to print the space after. So for 6, what we did was we printed, if I can very quickly write down here, what we actually printed was, we printed 6 stars first. First things first was 6 stars separated by space. 6 stars separated by space. Separated by space. That's the first thing I did. Then what did I do after that? Yeah. So after that, what we had was, we had 2 stars always. So we had 2 stars, right, printed with spaces, and finally we had 1 star. Now in these kind of questions, what I like to do is, I like to separate out the first part and the last part. That's what I like to do always, right? So what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to print this separately. And this part I'm going to write a loop for, right? Because this part printing is super straight, and even this part printing is super simple. So what does that mean? See, this one I will print, if input is n, I'll print n stars. I'm going to print n stars, right, with spaces, right? This is the thing I'm going to do. And in the last, I'm going to print 5 star plus 1. So I'm going to print n minus 1 spaces, plus star, right? So the starting and ending printing is not too difficult. It's the middle part that I have to sweat up into or spend a lot of time in doing, right? So middle part is what I have to figure out doing. Okay, right, let's go ahead and try to do at least this part. That middle part we have to do separately, but otherwise let's at least try to print this much out, right? So let's do that. Let me pick up, I'll do it in Python. I think most of you guys are in Python, but again, the logic for this will not change from language to language, right? So what I said was, this is what I said, that I print n stars with spaces, middle part, and n minus 1 spaces plus stars. So let's say n is equal to int input. I took the input for n, and what I'm going to do is print n stars with spaces. So I'll print I'll just print star plus space into n, right? That's how many n stars I want to print, and the middle part will be there. So this is the part where I'll print the middle part, and then I'm going to finally print my the last part, which is print first what I'm going to do is n minus 1 into, sorry, n minus 1 into the space, right, plus I'm going to print a star. This is what we're going to do, correct? Just to make sure that the associativity is right, let's just put some brackets. Yeah, and this part I always like to do a quick win, so a quick check if this is working out. If this is working, then we'll at least do this. Unsupported types for int and str. Okay, yeah, that the reason for that is we did n minus, it should be like this, n minus 1 into this. What we were doing was n minus 1 into this one, which is wrong. So now you see the first row and the last row is at least coming correct, and that much we figured out, right? It's the middle part that we have to do. Some people asking me to do it in C and C++. Yeah, we can. Let me do the next questions in C and C++. Let me do this question in Python. But the thing is, the logic remains same though. That's all I'm saying. So the logic remains roughly the same, and most of our students are in Python, hence I went with this. Anyways, let's look at the next question and see what works out best. Okay. All right. So we did this, and okay, cool. So we did this part. Now the only thing remaining to do is the middle part. Let's go and check out the middle part. So in the middle part, what I have is, how do I actually, figure out the middle part? So let me just go ahead and further, speak about this one. So I'm talking right now about the middle part. In the middle part, what we're doing is, okay, we are doing, if you look at it, it's in the row. Let's say this is row 0. Okay. This is row 1. Let's say this is row 1. This is row 2, row 3, row 4, and row 5. If I keep this numbering, again, I need not keep these numbering, but if I keep this numbering, what happens is I am printing in the first row, and I can remove this part because that I'm not even considering. So that would be the 0th row, but I'll remove those parts because those I've already printed, right? So I'm starting from 1 going up till n minus 2, and what I'm printing is in the first one, 1 space, right? 1 space or 1 dash, 1 star. How many more spaces am I printing? I'm printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 spaces. So it's 1 space, 1 star, 7 spaces, 7 spaces, and again 1 star, right? So this is how it's going. To make it even simpler, I'll write it like this: space, star, space, space, star, space. So the way it's going is, sorry, space, star, space, and then star finally, right? So the way it's going is 1 space, 1 star, 7 spaces, 1 star. Then it's 2 space, 1 star, 5 spaces, and 1 star, right? 3 space, 1 star, again 3 spaces and 1 star, 4 space, 1 star, 4 spaces, 1 space, and again 1 star, right? So these things, like in row number 1, we did this. In row number 2, we did this. In row number 3, we did this. And in row number 4, we did this. And if there were more rows, like if it was a bigger n, we would have continued doing this again and again. One thing I did not do that you should all do is, I did for n is equal to 6. Before you start doing this, you do it for n is equal to 5, do it for n is equal to 7. You will get a better understanding of what all is happening. Okay. Anyway, so the space is the number, the I number itself, right? So I can run a for loop. The space is the I number itself. This star and this star is 1 every time. So it doesn't really matter. The only issue is this: 7, 5, 3, 1. Okay. How can I always, print out 7, 5, 3, and 1? That is a major challenge. So let's think about it. This I can find it's some odd number coming down and down and down further, right? So it's keeping on coming down. It starts at 7. If I come to know what that start value is, then I can probably just keep going down every time as an odd number, right? How will I find out what the start value is? Well, if I did the other way around, actually, right? So assume that this was, let's say, row number 4. Just assume that this was row number 4, this was row number 3, this was row number 2, and this was row number 1. Then it would be easy for me to get this number, right? Because this is the first odd number, this is the second odd number, this is the third odd number, this is the fourth odd number. So in that sense, it would be easy for me to do. If I did 4, 3, 2, 1, the only issue would be how, when I'm doing 4, 3, 2, 1, I need to print 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. So again, it all depends on what I'm going to put over here. That's the major part, that I have to figure out. Okay, I can loop from 4 3 2 1, or I could loop the other way as well. Let me do that. Let me loop from 4 3 2 1, and what I'm going to do is the number of spaces initially, if I can just express it in terms of that, I will be done. So I can just say, actually it's like n minus 2 is 4, right? And I want to print, so for 4 I want to print 1, 3 I want to print 2, 2 I want to put 3, 4 1 I want to print 4. I could say it is it's going in the opposite direction. What else could I do here? If I did 1 2 3 4, then yeah, that's also fine. Correct. Okay, so I got that as well. Okay, fair enough. So we can do 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Let's do 1 2 3 4, and here we start from the fourth odd number, right? So here we are starting from the fourth odd number. So very specifically, if n minus 2 rows we are going to print in this case, I need to start from n minus 2th odd number and decrease, right, to find the middle spaces. That's it. So this is the n minus 2th odd number, which is 7. Then I have 5 3 1. So what I'll do is, let me actually write all of this down in a for loop. 1 second. Let me write this. Write this down in our code. Okay, all right, so let me write this down in our coding part. Yep. So what I want to do in the middle part here is this, right? So let us write that here. Yeah, and what I need to do is, I'll start a for loop. So for I in range 1, I need to include n minus 2, so I'll go till n minus 1 because I need to include n minus 2. And in this thing, first what I'll do is I'll print I spaces. So I want to print I into space. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Then what is the next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to print a star, right? So I want to print a star. So I print I spaces. Print I spaces. Then I'll print a star. Then how many spaces do I need to print? Well, I need to find the nth odd number, right? To find so I'm going to start from the n minus 2th odd number, right? Let me say odd. I need to get the n minus 2th odd number, the fourth odd number. So odd is equal to 2 into n minus 2 minus 1, right? Which is nothing but 2 into n minus 4, 2n minus 4 minus 2n minus 5, I guess. No, that's too much. 1 second. That is that only. So 2 into n minus 2, this is the particular number, minus 1. So that is the odd number that I'm starting with. And for that odd number, so that many, so I'll first print odd into spaces. I'm going to print those many odd spaces. And then what I'm going to do is again print a star, right? I'm going to print a star again. And after that, I'm going to say, okay, odd is equal to odd minus 2. So at least the odd decrement is not in our hand, right? So the odd decrement is not in our hand. This is in our hand. I is in our hand here in the loop, but odd decrement is not in our hand. So we'll use it in this way. Let's see if this works out. Let's just try to see if this works out. Okay. N is not defined because obviously we had capital N and I use small n here. So N is not defined. So we'll do run. Yeah, it works out for 3. Does it work out for all the other questions? It does work out for them as well. So again, this question, if you had to solve it, the best way to solve such a question is always to observe how many rows are there, what are we doing in each column, what are we exactly printing. This is what the approach that we followed over here. Try to do the easy parts first. That's what I did. We took the easy parts, that's the first row, and the last row we try to get it. And the middle part is the programmatic one, the one we can actually write a for loop for. So it is for that one, right, that we actually, so it is for this part that we wrote this kind of a logic, that I is going from 1 2 3 4 and this is going 7 5 3 1, right? That's how we did it. Is there another way of writing this? Absolutely, there are 10 other ways of writing loops, but this is the most formulaic way I find. So I try to do this kind of a way every time, right? So anyway, going back to our revision. In the revision, what did we say was we'll revise different types of questions. So there's a loops and patterns type question, guys, that you can definitely expect in this. A different type of, let's look at the other different types of questions that you can definitely expect in WIPRO Elite. So there is this loops and patterns. Then there is maths questions. So in maths, there are a bunch of other, like there are different type of questions. So for example, there's a question on converting binary to decimal and decimal to binary, which I'll just discuss right now. So there is a whole lot of number system questions. There are a whole lot of questions on reversing a particular number. 1 second. Let me just remove all these things. Yeah. So there's a whole sort of thing on removing a reversing a number, GCD of number, prime numbers. Again, standard questions that all of you should know. If you don't know, I've covered all of these earlier. You can just YouTube them and you will find them over there. And prime numbers, Armstrong number and abundant number, will be releasing solutions for this in the next couple of days. Yeah, so and Christmas discount we've already covered in a previous webinar. So yeah, I mean, these are the maths kind of questions. In these, basically what you will need to know is prime numbers, finding out factors of a number, finding factorial, knowing your number system. Those are the kind of things you need to know. Let me pick up a quick question on that. So let me pick up a question of binary to decimal and decimal to binary. Let's pick up this question. Write a program that converts a binary to decimal and a decimal number to binary number. The first line contains n, which tells you the number of inputs. The next line contains b. If b is 1, you should convert the number from binary to decimal. If b is 2, then convert the number from decimal to binary. The next line contains the particular number. Okay, all right. Okay, you guys want to do it in C, right? So let's try to do it in C, everybody. So let's write hash include, and I'll come to the actual logic of this question in a bit. But let's write the basic stuff. That is hash include stdio.h int main, or let me just do void main, whichever is preferable, right? So let's do it in C. And in this question, what we're supposed to do is first line is the number of inputs, right? So that's the first thing we're going to do. So we do int n. We have the number of inputs, and we have a particular integer which tells us whether that particular input has to be converted from binary to decimal or decimal to binary, right? So we'll do it this way: int b, which will tell us about the binary ones. And first thing you have to do is scanf mod d, and then take input this. Now somebody's saying C++, it's the same thing, guys. C++, I mean C++ is even faster than this, but I'll go with this for now. So anyways, scanf mod d, and then so I took this while n minus is greater than 0. You could do this. You could also do for int I is equal to 0, I less than n I plus plus. So this is, I'm taking the number of inputs. Now in each input, the first thing that I'm going to get is scanf mod d and b. So I'm going to get b. If b is equal to, now what did the question say? If b is 1, you should convert from binary to decimal. If b is 2, then convert the number from decimal to binary. So b is 1, binary to decimal, and else decimal to binary. Okay, let's do one by one. I would think that the binary to decimal is easier, so we can actually start with that one. 1 second. So this is supposed to be binary to decimal. So we'll have to first now actually take the particular input, right? So let's say int input. Let me just keep that here. Int num, right? So let's take this particular num as input. So we take scanf modulo d. Okay, yeah. Now people are asking to tell in Python. See, understand the logic. It don't really matter whichever language you're taking it in, right? So that's the major part. So scanf mod d and num. So we're taking this particular number as input. Now this number, I'm supposed to convert it to a decimal. For those of you who know your binary, how does binary work? Like, let's say if you have this number, right? What is this number actually equal to? This number is equal to 1 into 2 raised to, what is the position of this? This is the 0th position, 1st position, 2nd position, 3rd position, 4th position, 5th position. So it's 1 into 2 raised to 5 plus 0 into 2 raised to 4, 0 into 2 raised to 4 plus 1 into 2 raised to 3 plus 0 into 2 raised to 2 plus 1 into 2 raised to 1 plus 1 into 2 raised to 0, right? So, and if I actually convert that, what will it become? 1 into 2 raised to 5 is 32 plus 0 plus 8 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1, which is equal to 32 plus 8 is 4. So this is 43, right? Again, you can also confirm that this is 32 plus 8 plus 3, 43. So this number is 43. How does one actually convert from this thing by decimal to binary? Well, let's have a look right now. So converting decimal to binary, what you need to do is keep taking each significant bit position and raise it to a particular power, right? So you need to keep taking, so for example, if I have 101101, which is the question we had, no, it is 101011, 101011. Let's say this is the number that you had, right? What you need to do is keep taking every bit from the right side. So first I'll take 1, multiply by 1. Then I'll add this, right? So let's say num is equal to this. Then next what I'm going to do, num is equal to num plus, take the next number, which is 1, right, into 2, but this time 1 into 2 because the power is increasing every time. Then next what you're going to do is num is equal to num plus 0 into 4. Then num is equal to num plus 1 into 8 and so on. So you're extracting one digit every time from the right side. And what you're doing is you are multiplying by a greater power, right? So you need to always get the last digit and also multiply with a greater power. So what we're going to do is take last digit, multiply with power, right? Multiply with a particular power of 2. Then what you do is remove last digit and repeat with 1, right? So we'll remove last digit and we'll again take the last digit, multiply. We keep doing this till a number is greater than 0. So till the particular number is greater than 0, we should keep doing this one. Okay, so let's go back to our slides and see whether this works or not. Sorry, our code, and see whether this works or not. So we took the particular number while num is greater than 0. What we want to do is and let's say int decimal num is equal to 0. We'll take, what's the last digit? Int last digit. How do you take the last digit of a particular number? You do a modulo with 10, okay, and initially the int power is also equal to 1 itself, and we'll keep multiplying this as we keep going forward. So do you take the last digit over here? Let's actually define the last digit here itself, right? So we don't have to do that. So yeah, int last digit, and we say last digit is equal to num modulo 10, and then we add that to our thing. So decimal underscore num is equal to decimal underscore num plus whatever was the last digit, which is last digit here, into the power, right? Into the power. Then we'll finally multiply the power by 2. Power is equal to power into 2, and we'll reduce the number also. So num is equal to num divided by 10, because now that last digit is useless for us. We discard that and we get a new last digit in this case. Okay, so that's what we have done here. And yeah, finally we should print, once this is done, printf modulo d number, right? So we should ideally print the decimal number, not the number, the decimal number. Let's see if this works out for us, right? If we are at least getting to print the decimal number over here, and when it comes to the other one, we not really printing anything at this point, so we'll just let it be. Okay, let me run and check whether we get any errors or not. Yeah, we're going to put the semicolons. Always remember your semicolons, everybody. Okay, we also didn't put a \n. See, this Python spoils me, you know, I keep forgetting to put the \n, right? So yeah, at least for these cases 121 and 43, we are giving the right answer. The only issue right now is actually in giving the right answer for binary to decimal, right? So we need to convert decimal to a binary. That's what we need to do next. Okay, but these numbers are pretty big, right? We will not be able to store this in a decimal number. So let's just print out each number one by one. Okay, I'll share how we can do this part. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so this was this case that was binary to decimal. So our decimal is working out, right? But now it's converting decimal to binary. So how does one convert decimal to a binary number anyways, right? So how do you convert a, wait, this was binary to decimal. I'm sorry for that. So this was the binary to decimal part, which was correct. We got it. The issue right now is the decimal to binary. So I'm sorry if I made a mistake there. This was binary to decimal, pretty straightforward to do. Now let's do decimal to binary. All right. Now somebody's saying, can we just use the bin function in Python? I would suggest you don't do that. That's not the best approach to do. If they ask you in your interview if you did that, then you'll get a problem. All right, now let's convert decimal to binary. So the way you convert decimal to binary, let's say you had a number like 37, right? 37 is the best number to do. Okay, let's go 37. Okay, now 37, what you need to do is just keep dividing by 2. When you divide by 2, what do you get? You get 18. Yeah, you get 18 plus the remainder is 1, right? So this is the remainder is the important one. This is what's going to help us out. Then you take 18 divided by 2 is equal to what? 18 divided by 2 is, what would 18 divided by 2 be? 9 plus 0. We won't get anything there. Then 9 by 2 is equal to 4 plus 1. Then 4 is equal to 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2 plus 0, and 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1 plus 0, right? And did I make a mistake somewhere? Hold on a second. 13 is 18 plus 1, correct? 18 by 2 is 9 plus 0. 9 by 2 is 4 plus 1, and yeah, 4 plus 1. 4 by 2 is 2 plus 0. 2 by 2 is 1 plus 0, and 1 by 2 is equal to, yeah, correct. So you have 1 divided by 2 is equal to 0 plus 1, right? And then you finally get 0, which is, that's what you have, right? So what you need is, you need to come to this number to 0, and you need to, what you do is take the reverse of the remainder. So what you get in the reverse of the remainders, you get 0, I mean 0 you can skip. So 1 0 0 1 0 1, right? 1 0 0 1 0 1, which you could also take this way, right? When you take this, what is the number that you've got? Just to confirm again whether this is indeed 37 for you. So ideally it should be 32 plus 5, right? If you want to read it. So this is 5, and is this 2 raised to 5? Yeah, it is. So this is 32 plus 5, which is 37, right? So you have to keep dividing by 2 until the number becomes 0, and as and when the number becomes 0, the reverse of the numbers is your binary number. So the reverse of the particular numbers is the binary number that is there. So the reverse of the remainders, by the way, the reverse of the remainders is your binary number. Okay. All right. But now the entire trick for us, the entire issue for us over here is that it could just so happen, right, that the number may not fit in our regular integer. So for example, while this number we want to, like this number is a binary number to us, we eventually want to store this in an integer, right? And if you had some number like this, right, which is again, it is an integer, but to store it in an integer such big digits we will not be able to do, right? So let's actually take up an array for this one, right? We'll have to actually end up taking an array for, yeah, we'll have to actually end up taking an array for this one, and let's define it to 100 digits or so. I don't think we'll get 100 bits, but let's at least define it to that one, because otherwise we won't be able to store it. So let me just take that. Let me take a particular array here, right? And let's say int arr is 1 second. Yeah, I'll just keep it as 100 over here, right? Different languages, different syntax, same stuff, right? So int arr is equal to 100, and what I'll do is I have to keep dividing the number and I have to keep adding the remainders, and once I've added, we'll in the reverse print them out, right? So that's what we're going to do. So let's say int index is equal to 0. We'll start from the 0th index. The number is fairly straightforward. The number we are already given here, scanf mod d and num. So we'll again take that. We'll take this particular number here, and what we want to do is keep dividing it by 2, right? So while number greater than 0, right, you have to keep dividing it by 2. Number is equal to number divided by 2, and before you divide by 2, you should also get the remainder for it. So remainder is equal to number modulo 2. Okay. Now this remainder needs to be added further into our array. So ARR index is equal to remainder, right? And index plus plus. So then it will go into the next index, right? After it's done that, what this will do is this will keep storing all the numbers, all the remainders up until we reach the end point. Then what we'll do is we'll go till the last, one second. Yeah. We'll need to first figure out the last. Okay, I'll just print it out and then I'll show you what the issue is, right? So for int I is, or for int, let's say j is equal to index, right? Index j greater than equal to 0, j minus minus. Let's just printf modulo d the particular number, which is ARR j. Let's print this remainder, and then we'll print a new line after this one. Let's print a particular new line as well. Okay, all right, let's run this and see. It's the issue that we get. Okay, we didn't declare remainder, so that's remainder. Okay, we got one value here, which is minus 513. Okay, that means we are not really at the, oh yeah, index minus 1. It should be the case. Yeah. Okay, it does pass these test cases. Let's submit and check. I'm not sure if it will pass all. Okay, it does. So great. But yeah, I'll explain what was going through our head over here. Basically, we see, I'll just give you an example. If you try to store this particular number in an integer, it won't really store. So I'm storing all the remainders. I'm storing all the remainders in an array, and then I'm just adding the values further in that, right? And then we just reverse that array and print it out. So that is when you do a decimal to binary. Binary to decimal was just multiplication of 2. Decimal to binary, you keep dividing by 2 and take the remainders. Same thing follows with octal, and same thing follows with hexa. The only difference in octal and hexa is that you actually have more character space for that one. So in octal you can go up till 8. In hexa you have to actually figure out if it's 10 then A, 11 then B, and so on, right? So that's what you do in that case. So these are the type of questions you can expect in maths. Arrays question we have actually covered a lot on this channel, so you can go ahead and check. Most of these arrays questions are actually covered. If you check this here, most of these average of n numbers, transpose of a matrix, a lot of these we've covered before. Colony of 8 cells I've covered before. I'll take up this one, addition of matrix, seemingly simple question, not too difficult. So I'm going to take up this one. Chemical reaction covered earlier. Coming to strings, again, most of these questions we have taken up earlier. What you're mainly going to be asked to do in strings, one second, let me just, I think you're not getting the full browser properly. Yeah, so what you're going to be asked to do in strings mainly is to keep traversing the elements of the string, to check the frequency of numbers in a string, to count how many digits are there, for example. Those are the kind of questions that will come there. So do have a look at these questions and see whether they are the ones that you want to go for. Sorting, so sorting is, you will not be asked to implement merge sort, binary bubble sort, selection sort. You will be given a particular sorting order and you've been told to actually write a custom sort. You will not be told to implement a particularly existing sort, but rather you'll be told that, hey, this is how we want to sort the array, can you sort it? So for that, what you could do is you could use your inbuilt functions. If all of you are good at Java, Python, C, C++, especially Java, Python, C++, you can use your internal comparators if you're good. If you're not, know at least one sort. So either know merge sort or quick sort or bubble sort even is fine. And try to change the sorting condition. Generally, sorted condition is ascending order. Change the sorting condition as per what the question is asked, and you will be able to solve the question. Finally, you have questions on stacks, queues, linked lists, etc., which again is very basic implementation question. I have not seen too difficult questions on do many difficult things with stacks, queues, and linked lists. Stacks, obviously, that question is there on removing balance parenthesis and balance parenthesis checker. So make sure you know that one. And greedy algorithms, I think I've done it earlier, this one, but it's just one question, and it is the question of coin change. That is, if I want to get the least number of coins, or express a denomination in the least number of coins. How do I do that? So that is that question. So that finally leaves us with a little bit of revision on matrices. As I was saying, we'll do a little bit of matrices. So let's look at this question called addition of matrix. And again, I'll switch back to Python now, since most of you wanted Python. So let me look up the Python here. So write a program to add two matrices which have the same n cross n number of elements. First line takes an integer, which is the length of two matrices. Second line takes a list of integers. First half values first matrix elements, and second half are second matrix elements. Okay, this is interesting. The resultant matrix after is what we need to give out. So let's do it one by one. First things first is take input, create two arrays. This is what we'll do. So basically the question will give us two arrays. We have to add the two arrays and to add the two matrices and give a third matrix. That's what we need to do. So we have to take input, create two arrays, create a sum array, right? And print out the sum array, right? Before printing out, actually calculate the sum array. Calculate the sum array. Okay, great. Not too difficult to do. So first things first is example input 3 means n cross n. That means you're actually going to have 18 elements here. Why? First matrix will have 3 cross 3 9 elements. Second matrix will have 3 cross 3 9 elements. And this is the first half of the matrix, and the second half are the second matrices. So first let's take input n. N is equal to int input, right? We took this particular n as input. Now this entire line, by the way, the entire line that we have, so I'll just say that input string. So the input string that we have is equal to input, right? Ideally I should take this as a list. So input dot split, and the way you take it in Python is this. I hope everybody knows this. If you don't in your own language, it's fine. If you know, as long as you know in your own language, that's the main thing. Int input dot split. So I added that. Now this is all in one particular line, right? And in one particular list. I need to convert these into 2D lists. So let me keep my first one as A, the next one as B. Okay. Now each element that I get, let's say I'll say element underscore pointer is equal to 0. And what I'm going to do is I'll say, so this A has to be an n cross n matrix, right? So I'll say 0 n, right? 0 comma n, and this is one of the ways of creating a 2D list. Okay, let me not confuse you. What I'll say is A is equal to this, right? And what I'll say is for I in range, to create a 2D list, so for I in range n, right, I need to add an empty list to this all the time, right? Okay. Let's do better than that one. Let's read directly. Let's not do too many things. So simply put, I need to go through this input string, right? I need to go through this input string and need to add all of the values into A and then add all of the values into B, right? One by one. So let's do that. What I'll do is for I in range n, so it's going to be n cross n, right? And then we do for j in range n. I'm just trying to get the best way we can take this 2D input array, right? Because this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9 have to be different rows of that array. So what's the best way we can take that input? I could do for I in range n, for j in range n, and then as per that value I could, yeah, okay, fair enough, right? So let's say, let's do this. First half is equal to, you know what, you don't even need to do it as a 2D array. Actually, you don't really even need to do it as a 2D array. I'll tell you what this is. So first half is equal to 0 up until n, right? And second half is equal to n onwards, right? And I'll just print these just to show what I mean by that. First half and print second half, right? So we need to do this, right? I'll just show you what I mean by this one, right? So this is input, and input here. Okay, so what I mean by that is, let's say you're given the input, input n is not defined. Why is n not defined? Okay, that's because we took small n. Yeah, hopefully this works now. Okay, good. So what I meant to tell all of you guys is, see, this was the input, right? 1 8. Okay, that's too far. Yeah, so the input was 1 8 minus 6 3 minus 7 4 0 2 5 6 so on. What I did was, I want to take up this first half of the array as 1 8 minus 6, which is not correct, by the way. It should be first half should be n into n by 2. That is what it's going to be. So n into n will be 1. Yeah, so 0 into n, 0 all the way to n into n, and this will be n into n onwards, right? I just want to separate out both the matrices so that we have our answer, right? Yeah, so as you can see here, now I'm able to separate out the matrix 1 8 minus 6. So basically 9 elements to begin with. So the 9 elements are, they should be till 5, right? So those are the elements till 5 that I got here. The remaining parts are these. Now if you look at as a 2D matrix, right? So as a 2D matrix, what's going to happen is, the corresponding elements of these are only going to get added up, right? These are going to get added up finally. So I don't even need to actually convert it to a 1D matrix. Why? This will be the first row here, this will be the first row here, this will be the second row here, this will be a second row here, this will be the third row here, this will be a third row here. So simply put, what I can do is, for I in range n cross n, right? Because that's the size of the matrix. I say first half. So I say, let's say I say result is equal to 0, result is equal to some list, and I say result dot append first half of I plus second half of I, right? I add both of these values, because even if you convert them to a 2D array, these are the values that I'm going to calculate the sum of for, right? So I'm just going to result dot append all of these values, and I'll just print the result to show you all what I mean by this, right? So let's do that. See, 7 7 minus 8, that's exactly the output we need to get. 7 7 minus 8, minus 5 minus 12 and 11, that's what we get. Minus 5 minus 12 and 11, and 9 minus 1 and minus 4, right? That's the same thing here. We just need to print this result array here as row by row. Okay, so let's just do that. I don't need to print the first half, I don't need to print the second half, I don't even need to print the result like this. What I need to do is, for I in range n, for I in range n, now I'm going to go column by column, row by row and column by column. For j in range n, we're going to go column by column, right? For I in range n, yeah, for j in range n, print the particular element, right? So we print row by row over there. So what we're going to print in that case is result of n into I plus j. This is what we're going to print with a space. We're going to print this with a space and then print this new line, right? This should work. Results is not defined, obviously, because it's a result, right? This works, and I submit it, it works, right? So what this actually happened here was, I treated my 1D array as a 2D array. I didn't even convert it to a 2D array, right? You might be confused as to how this n into I plus j came. Well, if you just look at it, what we got was, we got an array that looked finally like this, right? But in a 1D array, not in a 2D array, right? So in a 1D array, not in a 2D array, we got an array that looks finally like this, right? So if I wanted to print this minus 5 value, what I needed to do was, I needed to make sure that it's in my, I'm starting here basically. So that's what I needed to do every time. Alternatively, for what all you could have done was, after every third element, print a new line. That's also fine to do, right? So after every third element, you could have printed a new line as well. So that's another way. So that's how we solved this 2D array, just taking a sum of all of the values, right? So that's the addition of matrices. You can also look at other type of questions which are transpose of a matrix, which is again a good question. Largest palindrome in the array, a really good question. So do try them out on the Edyst platform itself. Again, a reminder for those of you who've probably not signed up or not done yet, you can check this out on the Edyst platform. Here, this is the link of the course. Second, the link of the course, you can check it out. I'll now look at any doubts or questions that most of you have. So let me look up at if there are any doubts or questions, and if not, we'll close the session. It was a pleasure to be back again with all of you, and solving these type of questions with all of you. And yeah, do let us know in the comment section below what are the other type of questions you would like to solve, and that what are the other kind of questions or other kind of companies you want us to solve. Okay, so what are the expected coding questions? Please discuss. Just discussed. Exam slots are declared. For some colleges declared. I have not got confirmation from all colleges. Sir, in my boarding pass, date and time is not showing. Reach out to your placement officer. They'll be the best people to help you with that. In matrix, please solve when we give a target value and it checks the matrix and returns the position, row and column of the target value. Okay, you're asking for searching. Madhavi, you're asking for searching. There are two ways of doing that. One is the linear search of doing that. One is binary search. You can apply both of those things on a 2D array. Both have a slightly separate approaches to do. Please prefer C. I did C. Then somebody says Python. I did Python. Please do it in C++. Well, just replace your scanf with C, and I think that will mostly help you. Does the coding problems have time limits? Yeah, I think they will have time limits, but not too strict time limits. I don't think the time limits are super strict that you will get time limit exceeded and everything. It's not going to be like that. So I don't think it's going to be like very, very strict in that sense. Did anybody get mail from WIPRO? Good question. I have not, but let's see. Do they give time limit to solve problem? As I just mentioned, they do give, but it's not going to be super strict. So they're not going to ask you to get the most optimized thing, right? Sir, one more complex tree question. Could you discuss now, please? Can you please share what kind of a tree question? I think we're out of time for this session, but let us know on the channel. I'm more than happy to discuss more questions. I'll create much more. I'll create a couple of more videos for this one. I didn't see any trees questions as such for WIPRO Elite, so I'm not sure if those kind of questions will come. AMCAT also asked just usual, the in order, pre-order, those kind of things. So again, I don't think that kind of question should come. Yeah. What about space complexity if you use an array? So Sai Pranav, I think you're asking about if we use an array to store the binary numbers. Well, the answer is, what is the maximum space complexity that you could have? Let's say if it's long int or something, right? Let's say there are 1000 bits. 1000 bits you will be able to store anyways, right? So it's not like there are going to be 10,000 bits. Even then, generally it's going to be a 32-bit or 64-bit number. Let's say it's a 128-bit number. 128-bit array is not really a big thing for anybody in that sense, right? So you're not going to have a space complexity issue. Not that it matters for WIPRO Elite. WIPRO Elite is not really going to talk to you so much about space complexity and time complexity and those kind of things, right? As far as I know, obviously they have this thing called Turbo, which they had last year, which this year they've not yet mentioned so far. That is the one that has upgrade offers and those kind of things where time complexity, etc. is checked up for, right? So I think those are mainly it. Those are the questions. I have not received any other questions. So yeah, guys, thanks everybody for joining in. I know it's a long session. So glad to see so many of you still online, still watching this session. It's been a pleasure to come back to you, to already to see all of you waiting to go for placements. I wish all of you the very best for placements, and if you don't get placed even through WIPRO Elite, it's not the end of the world. We at Edyst have so many courses to help you learn the best of programming skills and get a job. So we are there. Do reach out to us for any question that you might have on that. For more doubts or questions, or just to reach out to Edyst, you can reach out to us on this number here. That's our WhatsApp number. We do check our WhatsApp messages there. This is the place for the Edyst course on WIPRO, and yeah, this is our email ID. We respond to each and every student who with a genuine concern. If somebody just emails us saying that sir, how are you, I'm not going to respond to that, but for most other things we do respond to the messages. So we love students and we'll be more than happy to respond to you. Thanks everybody for joining in today. It was a pleasure to be back. I hope this was helpful to you to prepare for WIPRO Elite. Subscribe to this channel because tomorrow and day after I'm going to be dropping 2 more question solutions. Very easy question solution, but hey, if you're preparing last minute, then every revision counts, right? So yeah, that's it from our side. Thanks everybody for joining in, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you.